Good day. My name is Rafia Degama. I'm one of the lecturers for LML4810. The idea is that I will record this exam prep class since your exam is quite close to our Q&A session that should happen. The idea is to put down some ground information for you to assimilate. And if you still have any questions, we will have a Q&A session. Announcements to that effect will be made on the My Module site for Term 2 to 2022, as well as for Term 1 2023. So this presentation itself will focus, give you some information on the exam itself, Turnitin, what sources you should use, steps to putting it in your own words, and what you should avoid. I will also um, for a brief moment, talk about stress and final preparations. General information, you should have this from your timetable. It's a take-home exam, be written for over a whole week, 7th of June to the 14th of June. The exam itself is released on the 7th of June at 8 a.m. in the morning, and the due date is 14th at 23:55, which is 11:55 p.m. Please, if I may ask and put forward very strongly, do not wait to that last moment to upload. There are all sorts of things that could hinder you, load shedding, ICT issues. Please try and do this, well in advance. You have really what we believe is ample time to finalize your exam. It is a paper out of 100. The weight of the assignments, the two assignments, 49%, and the one for the exam is 51. It is open book, and therefore, just remember that the kind of response we need, keeping in mind it's 7 days and open book, we are expecting a quality of writing. You have to upload it on My Module site. So for students doing this for the first time, you upload it on assignment 3 on the My Module site with 2023. For the students who are supplementary students, upload in under folder assignment 4 on the My Module site for Term 2 2022. So keep those two separate in your mind. Know who you are and where you're meant to upload, please. Of course, it will be available on those sites as well. What we expect is that you would have studied all of your prescribed material, you've engaged with it, you understand it, and you know what the material is. So format, paper consists of 100 marks. There are 25-mark questions. We give you from a scenario to essay to a whole wide range of types of questions. So please keep in mind, and of course that it counts for 51% of your mark. So what are the prescribed reading material? Everything that's on the My Module site. The cases, the legislation, the journal articles, extracts from books. Please read those. We do not have a tutorial 102 despite that. We tend to give you feedback during the live classes, and you have to keep that in mind. We also try and give us a level of feedback on your assignments themselves. Since it is 7 days and you have an open book exam, we are expecting footnotes, references for all the statements extracted, and of course you have to follow the citation mode set by the college. Examination guidelines, make sure you attach the declaration form. Keep in mind that the length of the script, and I don't have it on me right now, but it's stated in your exam itself, We are not including the signed declaration form, cover form, table of contents if you decide to do that, and bibliography. But footnotes and bibliography, very important. Declaration form, very important. Cover page, important. Sometimes we just need to know who you are. For whatever reason. Read the examination paper very carefully. Read the instructions. Read the questions very carefully. And make sure of using proper sources. And again, start from the what of all of the sources we've given you already on the My Module site. Anything extra comes after that. So the first port of call should always be what's on the My Module site. Style, Arial, size 11, 1.5 spacing. That's to make it easier for us to read it. And the footnote style, also Arial, size 10, and single line spacing. Fairly easy to understand. And I think you all know that we keep talking about plagiarism. And again, the reasoning behind it is that as a lawyer, there's a level of ethical conduct that is expected of you. And we need to make sure that you're already starting with that at this level, that you are behaving in a manner that befits the profession. So please, no, that is the one part of it. The second part of it is it's really great if you put things in your own words. We know that you have understood it properly. That really shows your understanding. So show off, tell us, show us what's there. And I'm going to relatively quickly go through these because I think we've put this forward a few times. There are ways of putting the things into your own words. Firstly, you have to read the original source. And then you put it in your own words. And of course, always go back and check that you haven't, just copied, you just haven't written exactly what was there in the first place. Make sure that you are actually putting it in your own words. So always recheck. An example, you can try and do this, when you make your summary, try and make summaries, try and make notes. And by doing that, you are putting things in your own words. Had a good example, side by side here. Extract from the document, and then an attempt to putting it in our own words. So just remember, we want to see your understanding, please. And another example here again, there are of course certain things you'll never be able to really put in your own words in the same way. You cannot say another word for integration. It has a legal meaning. Organization of African Unity is an organization. You're not going to call it something else. So just remember, of course, we still want you to use those very specific tools and words that we have in our subject. But keep in mind that we still want to see how well you've understood. From this point on, it's really good to move on to the type of questions. So, for example, this is from a previous exam paper where we asked students to go and look on an online website and do a little bit of research. And what we wanted wasn't the actual steps you were taking, but the legal steps. So it wasn't sort of, oh, I went and I typed in the words and I clicked on this. No, we wanted to see if you understood all the contractual things you were doing when you were doing these things. So again, make sure that you understand the question properly. Yes, read it. Understand that we will only ever ask you legal questions. Here's a good example. It might seem like a bit simpler than it is, but we are asking you to see your understanding of what an electronic contract is. Contract of sale in this instance. Another one, for example, where we ask you an opinion about a piece of document. And here we are really trying to see how well you understand all the different levels of regulation that exist and how we integrate them in our national system. So, you've got the regional laws, the African continental ones, you've got the ones that are happening internationally, and how do we bring them into what we do here in South Africa? Because of course, when it comes to e-commerce, it is one of the legal subjects really where we really are talking about a borderless world. You know, we choose very specific aspects to talk to, but really a borderless world and how we are interacting in the globalized sort of economy. So, you know, we would like you to know we find ourselves in this place. And you'll have articles that refer to that. So it's always great to also bring in that information that you've assimilated over time. We may ask you to give a critical case discussion, and it will not just be tell us about the facts and decision. We really want to see your understanding of the positive or negative criticism that has occurred, what people think about it, and so forth. So it will be a lot more than just this is what happened, X and Y, contract, blah. We want really to see your understanding of things. Quite a few of the cases, there are articles that we prescribe. So we prescribe the case, and then there's article, and then that article discusses the case, and that is great. So make sure that you also see where those things meet up. This is just, you know, for example, you know, we're talking about the JAFTA case, and that deals with formation of contracts. And you might have more than one case that deals with, of course, that specific issue. And there again, please have a look at that. What should you avoid? One of the main things, please do not copy and paste. Write in your own words. Do not type in what was written in your prescribed sources, because that doesn't show us your understanding. That's you being very good at finding something and being able to type it in, or copying it, pasting it. We really need to see your understanding of things. Do not copy from an internet source. They are not reliable. If you are going to use a source outside of what is given to you, make sure that you read the original case or the article. You should not refer to internet sources without having done that. Do not leave your exam prep for the final day. I know it feels like, oh, I have 7 days. It's wonderful. It's open book. Blah. You don't have to study. You still have to study. You still have to engage with the material. Please do not. So yeah, keep that in mind. What should you do if you are stressed? And it's exam times, everybody's stressed. I think we are all stressed. Engage with the material. Once you feel like you've mastered it to a certain level, you will just, that stress will float away. So I know it's just like a lecturer to tell you, go and study, but that is how you avoid stress. And then please try and move forward. Where do you find your exam? It will be released on the 7th of June on the module site. We will put announcements in this regard, and you know, as I said, to students doing this subject for the first time, assignment 3 on the My Module site, term 1, 2023. Students doing who are supplementary students, it will be in your 2022 page, My Module page, under assignment 4. So please don't, I will say this, we cannot give you answers to the questions of the exam during the 7 days that the exam is ongoing. However, you can contact us. And that has been the case for the whole term. You know our details, you can always contact us. And I just wanted to say thank you and good luck.